Welcome, everyone, to the Sonoma Spiel. My name is Tim with the Sonoma Valley Visitors Bureau. It's not springtime in Sonoma yet. We're recording this in winter during our 100 days of winter wellness, but the hills are turning green. It's looking great out there because we've had a little bit of precipitation. Folks, I just got in from Chicago. I just flew in from Chicago, and boy, are my arms tired. I was there earlier this week. I was at an event playing pickleball, where that's now the new golf. And we went and we had a bunch of meeting planners, and we were playing pickleball and telling them to come to Sonoma. That's not why I'm telling the story. The reason I'm telling you a story is we were in a place called the Schoolhouse, and it was an old Catholic school that had been reconverted into an arts venue, and it had a pickleball court inside of it, and it had a bunch of neat things throughout this little schoolhouse. And I'm like, this idea seems really familiar. I feel like even though this is like the hipster venue in this part of Chicago, I know a place that already does this and actually does it a little bit better. And that's why this week I have a very special guest. I know every week I say I have a very special guest, but this week I actually mean it. And we're going to talk about how it relates to a place called the Schoolhouse in the south side of Chicago. Molly Spencer, Sonoma Community Center.
Hi, Tim. Oh my gosh.
How are you?
That's a good lead-in.
Is it good?
So Chicago.
Yeah.
Schoolhouses pop up.
Boom. Stuff
Sonoma
happening.
Community Center.
Sonoma Community Center.
The heart of Sonoma.
Boom, boom.
But
boom, boom.
That's before that,
okay.
So I know a little backup on the Sonoma Community Center.
What is a Sonoma Community Center, Molly?
Well, we are right down the street, about a block east of the Sonoma Plaza.
Okay.
And it's a little gem. It is basically what you think it is, a community center, but really it's so much more than that because it's an arts center where we have thriving arts programming and events and performances and all sorts of things. But it didn't start out that way.
It wasn't like a weird community building that always has linoleum and stuff like that. When you think of a community center,
no,
you think of like the
not.
sad kind of, not sad, but you know what I'm saying. What was this place?
Historic brick building.
Oh, okay.
2 stories basically that started out as a grammar school. So I think we're about 108 years old as a building.
Got it.
But it did start as a grammar school.
Okay.
There was places for people to bring their horses if they were bringing their kid to school a long time ago.
They could ride their kid to school?
That's what I've heard.
So when you told someone off and the horse they rode in on,
exactly,
they literally could have a horse they rode in on.
Exactly. This is what I've heard. But
I don't not believe it.
I don't not believe it either.
I do believe it is what I'm saying. Because there's a hitching post on the plaza still for horses.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it kind of makes sense.
Okay.
And but it did get closed. It was closing down. Basically, families were moving here. It was kind of got dinged as like retrofitting for the 40s after the earthquake. They thought that it wouldn't really make it through, wasn't safe as a school.
Got it.
Little be known, here we are 108 years later,
Still
and a thing will stand through anything.
It's
almost as good as availability.
Yeah, it's a heavy brick building.
Exactly.
Looks like a classic, beautiful school.
Yeah, all of them still have, most of the classrooms upstairs still have some of the chalkboards are covered up.
Right.
But they are in there, and they're still there, and there's weird little rooms off of it and everything. Nice. It's fun to go on a little tour and see all of it. But I think it was like a little bit in the late 40s, and they closed it down. They actually moved the school district, moved everything around.
Okay.
Before Press would open up down the street, they moved them like on the corner where the little church is right next to the community center. I think they moved them out to the building downtown where Chateau Sonoma and Bateau building, I think it was.
You know what I love?
They moved them there for a while.
You're doing the Vera Sonoma thing. What are you doing? You're referencing things in relation to places that are no longer there.
I know. I almost said Dramatica from the 80s. Anyway.
Yeah, no one's, only a few people will know it, and they were all the skateboard kids that hang out by 7-Eleven. But
anyway.
so you have this beautiful Sonoma Community Center building that was no longer being used as a school.
Exactly.
And they're like, hey, let's tear it down.
Right.
But then someone's like,
saved.
we have an idea. Okay.
Exactly. So originally, Sebastiani was going to take the building.
Okay.
Who knows? Maybe put some wine production in it. But at that time, it was Dr. Andrews. So it's still called Andrews Hall. He was a local doctor that came into
like
town.
Like a medical
doctor
person?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And he wanted a center that would be for everyone, for everything, a true community center.
Okay.
So they went into this auction, and I think there was kind of like a little battle for it. And Sylvia Sebastiani, I think it was Sylvia, that was Oscar's wife, said, give it to the doctor. And he got it for a song.
That's amazing.
So then in like 1952, I think 53, around that time, it really flourished into what it is as a community center.
Okay.
I don't have all the names. I'm going to tell you because we just did a 70th gallery show last year. Mike Acker and I kind of talking about the history through the many years. But if you want something, this book...
Wait, you have a history book of the Sonoma Community Center?
I brought this for you, Tim.
Wait,
this
you have a literal book. It says, The Images of America, Sonoma Community Center.
Yeah. So Kathy Sweat and Pamela Helen Gibson. Kathy Sweat was an on and off, actually, executive director earlier in the 2000s, a couple of times. In between Visitors Bureau and DeRosa Preserve, she was there. So this book, we have this book. I bring it to you as a gift. It's got all of the stories up until 2008.
Well, Molly, this podcast is now over. You've been replaced by a book.
I'm not going to lie. The one I heard with Patricia Cullen was amazing.
Oh, was she? Yeah, the history?
Oh, that was so good.
There.
So I can't really keep up with them, but that's kind of all where it started.
This is the past of the community center.
The past,
and it's what I love. It's like a neoclassical building. It's got two big columns on each side of the thing. Yeah. It's got that kind of federal. I don't know what style it's called, but
it does look more old-fashioned than it really is on the inside.
Correct. Well, that was a thing at that time, was to build the kind of, like, even the banks had that kind of look as if, the Romans and the Greeks were there debating underneath their columns.
It gives it something special. So when you walk through those doors, especially like if you're a child and you come back to it later,
right?
Oh, this is smaller than I thought it was. Exactly. Or everybody's got a story about it. Everybody has.
I bet you a lot of locals that went to school there, who if they're still, I mean, they're now much older now.
Exactly.
In the 40s and 50s, but
the names in town and like the Vivianis and all of those that definitely started there, and it's definitely got a lot of history. But,
all right, so that's the past.
Yeah.
What is it now like for if I'm visiting Sonoma? Is there a reason that I should go there?
Should definitely go there because I think one of the things that's really flourishing now is not only our arts programming that we have there, but we have a lot more events that have come down.
Right.
The signature events that we really are known for. And things that happen on the weekends. So you're here. We always load our stuff into the Visitors Bureau site.
You do.
So that's the
you
way
guys
to
are the
go
best
to
at our SonomaValley.com/events. You guys do such a great job putting all your events in there.
I know.
Which when people always ask, like, how can I get people to know about my event? I'm like, well, you could tell other people about it by putting it on the website.
Exactly.
So
it's
you could do that.
It's the easiest, best thing ever.
The whole thing there.
But, and there's so much. I mean, not only do we have constant workshops and classes, but like if you're visiting Sonoma, you want to see what's happening.
Right.
Look what's happening.
I mean, you guys have
maybe you don't want to drink wine.
Right.
Maybe you don't. Maybe you want to make pottery. Maybe you want to have a date night.
Tell me about pottery, because you guys actually have a really big ceramics program.
We do.
Sonoma
Ceramics.
What is that?
It's a thriving ceramics program that has 2 electric kilns and a gas kiln and a glazing room, classes in pottery on the wheel, as well as upstairs in hand building.
Do you need to be an experienced ceramicist to take a class?
No, you don't. And usually there's a lot of ongoing beginning classes. In fact, they fill up pretty fast, which is fantastic. So
someone visiting for the weekend or one day could come here and go to take a class.
Maybe there is an open studio, and there's also a drop-in if you have experience. But to kind of keep, what happens a lot is they try to put workshops out on the weekend, so you can experience, like especially around the holidays, making clay ornaments. Or we also do smaller groups that want to come in and do let's
a group activity.
Set it up a group activity.
Oh,
we also
cool.
do like a bilingual painting night. So there's a fiber arts room, but in the ceramics room, I'll tell you what, that was originally the boys club, the Boys and Girls Club, before it was the boys. So that was the original location.
Okay.
So downstairs was, I think they had a little boxing ring down there as well. And these are my friends that I think it was like the early 80s when it first started there. And Adidas dropped off 1,000 shoes, I think, but none of them matched.
Boxing shoes?
Well, shoes,
shoes.
Just tennis shoes. I have a friend, Mike Chip Chase, that told me his whole family, and there's a family of 4 boys, had like shoes for
this mismatched
for 4
Adidas
years.
Shoes.
Exactly.
For really,
but they were just different sizes,
That's
right?
Fantastic.
And then apparently and this can be backed up by Gordon, who's our facilities.
Right.
He's one of Dr. Andrews' godchildren, actually. I guess he had a lot.
Okay.
He said that there actually was like some sort of shooting range within there.
Oh, okay.
So when they carved it out into the ceramics room, which was Tom Collins, they knocked it down, first floor, first part of it. Some of the walls right there are actually the tables, and there's little, like, I don't know what kind of bullets.
Probably little BBs.
Little BBs, right, are in. They're covered
pellets,
up right now for ceramics. But
I feel like there's a lot of stories in here.
Yeah.
I bet you it's a haunted building. I bet you.
I've heard that too.
You can't be that old as a building and not be haunted. That's a law in Sonoma.
I've heard that too. I've heard not only is it possibly haunted in the... I mean, there's been stories in the theater that it's haunted.
Oh, right. Every theater's haunted.
That there's
every good theater. Every theater worth its...
Exactly.
Worth its wings or whatever theaters are worth.
Exactly. But, you know, I think the most haunted we get right now is people that are interested in Scream. The first Scream movie that was filmed
another
there.
segue. Tell me about this. So Wes Craven.
Wes Craven.
Did not Wes Anderson. If it was Wes Anderson, it'd be perfectly in the middle.
Exactly.
So
It would have a look.
So Wes Craven subverted horror movies when he came out with Scream, which was sort of like a throwback to all the 80s and 70s slasher flicks, and turned them on their ear, as it were, and then chopped that ear off, and then made a whole thing out of it. But where was it set?
Yeah, a whole new genre. Well, you know, as we all know, originally it was set to be in Santa Rosa. Or maybe you don't know and you're new to it. But all Screamers, there's some details out there, and I won't even go into all the Screamer details because I don't know them all. But it was supposed to be in Santa Rosa. The board school district was not happy that they heard like a slasher film would be there. So they were looking around to do the school scenes, and Dan Caspon, who is our... fantastic Dan Sotheby's, big real estate guy, and a good friend. Right. He worked there at the time, and it was him and Ken Brown, who is another name that's been associated for a long time with Sonoma Community Center. And they were looking at that, so he kind of went around. The board didn't really want him to, right? But he went around and basically brokered his first deal, right? So,
on a movie location.
Exactly.
For real.
They came, what was that, 1986, I think?
When was Scream filmed? It was like in the 90s,
96, sorry.
Yeah, because I think it was like, because the 80s was like the height of all the slasher films.
I have friends that were in it, and I was working that day right down the street. Why I didn't go, I don't know.
Yeah,
but 1996.
So the high school is the community center.
So the high school portions are the community center. And you can see Wes Craven actually has a little segment in it, and
Woodsboro High School.
Screamers come Woodsboro High. And actually, we do have a podcast where I interviewed Dan, a couple of them.
Oh, wait, hold on. Are we referencing another podcast? Tell me about this podcast. What's the name of that podcast?
Oh, the Sonoma Community Center podcast.
I hear that's... Who hosts that one? I hear it's a fantastic host.
Myself and Gerardo Diaz, right? So we do it out of the music room at the Sonoma Community Center.
So immediately after listening to this podcast, go listen to that podcast, everybody. I hear it's a great podcast. I hear it's fabulous.
I love your podcast, too.
I hear it's a good one.
Good stories.
All right, but real quick. So you got Scream right there. It looks like sort of stuff. You've danced around it. You have a theater appended to the community center. Is this an actual theater where theater actually happens?
The Andrews Theater.
Okay.
Andrews Hall, really. That's it. It's a rotary stage at the Andrews Hall. So clearly it was named after Dr. Andrews. Right. And Sonoma Arts Live is another nonprofit, fantastic local group that does theater. So they really lease out the space. They're partners, and they lease out the space about 9 months out of the year. Okay. Have fantastic productions happening.
It's musicals, it's comedies.
Exactly.
It's all sorts of stuff
I think
there.
they have a comedy opening tomorrow. Okay. And
it's a small intimate theater. It has a balcony. But if someone wanted to rent that space, is that also available to rent?
There's about 3 months a year where we can rent it out. And there's been people that have gotten married there, or we do parties there. We also take advantage of it. Usually in March it's open. We're doing an upcoming comedy show. Kind of have started to rope in comedy shows in the bit, and sometimes private performances
as well. Right, kind of go in and rent it out. It's one of the halls.
Parties. So it's a great space.
Okay, hold on. You mentioned parties. Outdoors, there's a garden. Can people still use that? Is that still a thing?
The secret garden.
Wait, we should talk about it. How about we just whisper about it? How about we just like use our hands and we don't talk about it?
The secret garden. No, actually, it's this beautiful space that's behind the Sonoma Community Center parking lot, and it's to the right of it, in between these old barns. That's called the Glaze Barn because it's part of Sonoma Ceramics.
Oh, okay.
And so there's a couple of kiln barns, and it's a nice private location.
Outdoor patio,
where
garden.
you can have a small gathering.
Got some
do
shade
small
cloths over and
performances.
stuff. Yeah.
We do, although we're hoping to raise money for more because they, after a couple of years,
they get worn out a little bit.
They get really worn out.
So after they listen to both these podcasts, they can probably go write a check to Sonoma Community Center, attention sailcloths or whatever, shade cloth. Just pay for that. Okay, so you have the outdoor shade cloth, you got the hall, you got the ceramics. There's a kitchen in there?
There's a culinary kitchen, or should I say commercial kitchen.
Okay.
And we have workshops out of there. And this is actually really good. If you're visiting Sonoma, they're on a regular basis, usually 3 weeks out of the year. There's a Saturday class. We have great Italian classes happening now.
Okay.
Mexican series, Asian food coming up.
So you kind of have a bunch of different culinary series that you can take, the whole series, or I think you can take one class?
Yeah, these are more workshop driven. So they're a couple of hours. They're always hands-on in the kitchen and then eating together.
Well, that's a good deal.
So they just did actually one night, that movie Big Night, right?
Yes.
Remember that one?
With Stanley Tucci.
Yes.
And they build the meat drum.
Yes, they made the meat drum. They made all of it.
Yes, the meat.
All of it. Okay. I don't know what the meat drum's called.
But you know what I'm talking about. It's got it's like heavy. It's got okay, side note. My son watched a YouTube channel called Binging with Babish, where he watches movies and then makes food from that movie. And so when he was 15 or like 14, he and his friend, for some reason, thought that was the one they were going to make as their first dish. It took hours. Because I
can imagine.
They were like, no, we're going to make the red sauce from scratch. I'm like, oh my God. But you made this meat drum. It's delicious. So
that was a sold out, fantastic performance, and there will be more. We have Lady in the Tramp night, which will happen on Valentine's. Yeah, spaghetti, little tables. When the moon hits your eye like a big pizza. Is that in that?
That's
amore. It doesn't matter.
That's a good song. We knew the words. Exactly. Okay, so and some of these classes are bilingual as well, right?
Absolutely. Okay. We have a great bilingual yoga, have that on.
Okay.
Medicinales, which is a group that comes in on Mondays and really works with herbs. And they're ongoing. And there's more. Flamenco. There's all sorts of. And we're hoping to get more teachers that are interested in sharing language and culture.
Bilingual stuff.
And we do a big Dia de Muertos celebration.
You mentioned flamenco, which is a type of dance, if I recall. What about Molly Spencer and her dance? Are you in the dance world?
Molly Spencer has retired from teaching.
So you were
this year.
You were a dance teacher, ballet teacher.
I was a dance teacher, and I danced most of my younger life.
How are your knees and your ankles?
My hips are terrible, and that's why I'm not teaching anymore, and that's why I have to go to the pool, and I hope in my next life I just get to join a synchronized swimming. I feel like I want to be scouted, That's
right, future to your future life. You're like
exactly.
Swimming, something that involves jumping. But so you were a ballet dancer?
I grew up mostly modern dance.
Okay.
But ballet was always part of it. Most dancers are trained to be...
Is that the foundation
of dance? That's the foundation. That's the foundation of everything.
It is.
So, great life. I wasn't super professional, but I was with companies here and there, went to New York and got to study under
Wait, you actually got paid to dance?
I did not get paid to dance, usually smaller productions around in Marin and San Francisco.
Good. Yeah, because that's incredibly competitive, isn't it? It's like insanely
I was too old by the time I got there. Let's be real.
Yeah.
The dancers, a lot of dancers these days, incredible technicians.
Oh, really?
But that's why I always love
You're speaking to someone who knows nothing. Okay,
yeah,
so
exactly.
So you would teach stuff, and then I think there still are dance classes.
Absolutely. So I was teaching young ones for a long time. I used to teach in Nevada School of Dance. I taught ballet. I taught lyrical dance, ballet for boys. And then when I had a child, many, many years ago.
Which doesn't change your life at all.
Yeah, right? So I stopped teaching there, came back up to here, and my kid was about 5 years old. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe I'll get back into this. And that's how I went back to the Sonoma Community Center, because been around that place for a while, had taught.
Did you grow up here, Molly?
I grew up here since like 7th grade.
Oh, you did?
Even though I moved away. I kept coming because Sonoma's like that, like the Godfather,
Keep bringing you back.
Once a year, always bringing you back.
You can't leave.
Exactly.
Rubber band.
So, and that's great, and I love it, and I couldn't ask for anything more. So that's how I got over to the community centers. I started Miss Molly's ballet and dance.
Okay.
And it really grew. Hit the streets of the Plaza parks, and it was fun. It's really fun.
And there's a big studio. I know when you go up to the main thing and take a right to the end of the hallway, there's a dance studio.
So there's two kind of wings upstairs that actually have hallways that are at a slant. I don't know why. And the dance studio is towards the east side.
Okay.
And it's a small story because basically a long time ago when I used to take, like in my young 20s, I started taking dance there, and it was Sonoma Ballet Conservatory run by Beth Marie.
Okay.
So, and she'd been there for a very long time until she moved to Broadway.
That's what it currently is, a Sonoma Conservatory dance.
Sold it to Patty O'Reilly,
now.
who has it now. But in between there, she was going to sell it to a woman named Lorene Markinkowski, who danced for Pacific Northwest and came back. Her picture's in the book. It's the best picture in there. And she came back and was going to do that, but she ended up going to Nevada School of Dance, which I started teaching for her.
Down
so
in
it's
Nevada.
kind of like a small circle in that studio.
I love
of me being back. But I have retired, and now my main focus for that is to bring more all styles of dance, movement, yoga, all things happening in that. So I'm really kind of managing.
Kind of the performing arts.
Yeah, right
part
now
of
we
that.
have tap dance and flamenco, which happens to be my neighbor. I'm all, why don't you...
Is that what you do? You just grab random people? You're like, I saw you dancing the other day in your yard. You're now a teacher.
These flyers up everywhere. And I'm all, I got to talk to her. Turns out she's my neighbor. We had a rousing good night and then sign her up for flamenco classes. So
after one or two sangrias, you're
super
like,
talented.
by the way, what you should do.
Yes.
Okay, so you got dance, we got ceramics, we got culinary, we have a garden, we have a professional theater that you can also rent out the space.
Yeah, and there's spaces for meetings, all sorts of things, a multi-purpose room. And then...
What was fiber arts? What does that mean?
Fiber arts?
Yeah.
Fiber arts is really anything to do with sewing, mending, embroidery.
Okay.
You name it.
Okay.
One thing that came out of it with my good old friend Eric Jackson, who used to be here, he started years ago Fiber Arts Happy Hour. So every Wednesday between 4:30? Anyway, don't quote me on that. Look it up on the website.
Look it up on the website, right.
Every Wednesday, it's this group that gets together. It's a free place to come and use the sewing machines, use the materials, and have a little wine and snacks, and do Fiber Arts Happy Hour.
For real?
Yeah, it's fun.
Are there people that help you put the bobbins on, or the what are those called? Bobbins?
I know.
What are they called?
The
some that help you do that, right?
Yeah, yeah. And we also have classes that come out of there as well with some pretty fantastic teachers that come around. So
I wish I did classes on like just how to fix a button, just the stupid stuff. Yeah.
I know. Oh, we will be having a mending bar that's coming on down.
It's called a mending bar?
Well, mending bars are kind of all the rage of what they're calling now.
Okay.
You know, there's always that movement, a slow movement.
Right.
And I know, like, I see them in New York City. I see a lot of the programming that we run at the Sonoma Community Center.
People copy, like in Chicago, they take a whole schoolhouse.
And they charge a lot of prices.
Yeah.
I mean, we're nonprofit, so we try to keep it reasonable, but we also believe in paying the artist and the teacher a fair wage. So
they got to eat too.
Run under, that's why we're always raising money at these events, you know, to include everybody.
So after I give money for the shade sales, shade sales.
Shade Shell. Yeah, exactly.
You can give money to support the community center because it is a nonprofit.
Always, yeah. Okay. And we have membership that gets certain discounts and previews on the events we do and that sort of thing.
Okay, wait. We got fiber. We got all. You brought in some props that I know you do.
Some props.
Can you explain?
So before we jump out of ceramics,
go ahead. Yes.
We always have every year. I think it is in their 13th year. Mm-hmm. The Chili Bowl, which is happening at the end of February. It always happens every year.
Okay. And it's like a football game, like a big
So you said to bring things like bottle of wine or whatever it might be, and I'm all, okay, I'll bring him a chili bowl.
Yes. Well, because this is funny. The chili bowl, tell me what that is, because it literally is chili as in like the thing you eat.
Yeah.
And the people in Ohio put spaghetti under it because they're weird. But
you mean tomato or ketchup as tomato sauce?
What's wrong with those people?
I thought Chicago was known for their chili.
Chicago, they have chili there too.
Everybody,
but so we do a chili bowl with like actual types of chili. But you buy a bowl, you make a bowl.
So what happens is the ceramics department. This is a fundraiser to really support. We always have an artist in residence. That's a whole other story every 6 months, which is very cool. So they make over about 600 bowls. They have these bowl-a-thons every Saturday. So say you're in town,
right?
You got a little skills.
If someone asks you to go bowling, you're not going to be knocking. You're going to be doing that. Okay.
Exactly. So they make all these bowls. Some of them bigger. Some of all kinds of different designs. This just happened to be the polka dot one.
I like it. It's kind of greenish. It's greenish with dots in it. It's very beautiful.
They'll have guest artists and guest ceramics. I'm looking forward to the Bigfoot bowls that someone makes and the UFO bowls that we like to get the UFO gym. And
yeah, we're going to talk about UFO guy in a second.
Okay. So anyway, it happens always. This year it's February 24th.
Okay, it's always in the winter, right? Winter
not
/ early
happen
spring.
by then, but every year after President's Day weekend. And you come and you pick a bowl. You buy a ticket. You pick out the bowl you like. They're all laid out.
Okay.
There's 3 seatings, and then you go and you put your chili in the bowl. Pick out the chili that you want.
You provide the chili,
which is
you don't have to bring your own. You don't have to bring your own chili. Okay, so chefs make chili.
Oh yeah.
So hold on, hold the
presses. That's not all.
Put away that checkbook. So you get the bowl. So a professional chef makes the chili.
We do. We collect all the donated chili from town. So right now we're kind of shoring up our. We got our regulars. Like, people are into it. I know Delicious Dish is doing one.
Christina Topham.
Everybody's doing it. So you pick out your chili, and then you're welcome to. There's auctions. There's raffles. There's entertainment.
Okay.
At nighttime, there's a little bit more. There's also like a gallery opening, and you also
you
get
have
a
multiple
mug and a cup.
seatings. You have lunch 1, lunch 2, and you have a cocktail hour.
Yeah. And the secret is people always think if they come to the early one, like they're getting the best bowls.
The best chili.
That's not true.
It's not true.
Because we space them out. So
any seating is going to have fantastic chili.
Exactly.
And there's also cocktails.
Yeah. So that's a
thing you guys do every year, chili bowl.
Always. Always at the end of February, really.
My next question I have is from the song, What Was I Made For? And it's from the #1 movie of the summer. Is that the name of it? The Barbie.
Oh, you mean...
Wasn't the name of the
Barbie?
One? Barbie. Wasn't the What Was I Made For? I can't sing that song.
Are you Knuff?
What
was that? I'm not even going to try.
Right, you know what I'm talking about. Am I Knuff? That's right. The Major Mojo thing.
I cried.
Yeah.
And I saw it twice, and I cried twice.
Because I
brought you something else.
You have a Barbie here. What's going on?
This one looks like an award, so I'm just going to speak into it like it's an award. This one was made several years ago, but we do a part of Trash and Fashion.
Trash and Fashion. What does that mean?
So Trash and Fashion events, sustainability events. I wonder how long I should hold this.
I think
like I'm talking
let's freeze this, and then I'll tell my.
So what you're looking at.
I'm going to tell Austin, the guy that edits our video. Austin, do a freeze frame now. Okay, go.
So this little trophy number is from Trash and Fashion Barbies. I'll get into that. But she is wearing a full outfit, doll donated by Recology. And then we invite the public to make a trash outfit. And this one's very cool. It's just a candy.
Yeah, it's candy wrappers, Zots, which was like those fizzy candies. Yeah,
wrappers.
And she made she has like a cape kind of, I don't know what it's called.
She's got a little cape made out of like a great
a beautiful dress.
And a little dress
and a
cut
hair wrap,
into Zots. And then her hair used to stick up.
Oh, I gotcha. Okay.
So that's Trash and
Barbie. So Trash and Fashion is a fashion show.
Yeah.
Where actual real design. Like I thought this was like schmucks like me coming in there just making it, and then I saw this stuff. I'm like, oh. This is amazingly beautiful stuff.
It's all over the board. So Trash and Fashion really was founded by Margaret Hatcher, who's a costume designer. Okay. And we're in our 14th year. Okay. And it started off as a little small runway show happening at the Sonoma Community Center. And it got bigger and bigger. So we had to go to the Vets building. So there's a big long runway. Mm-hmm. And actually right now, I mean, I don't know if people will see this or whatever, but we are looking, this is a call for entries.
Call for entry,
so anybody that's over 9 years old up to however old can make an outfit out of trash. And we have applications open, and they are welcome to walk it at the trash and runway
so they can wear their outfits.
They pay for the application.
I've seen someone who wore like a chainmail looking made of like soda pop tops or something like that.
Exactly. This one is actually Noemi did this great Primavera dress. She's actually the costume designer for Ballet Catalan.
Oh, okay. They have beautiful designs.
This is straight out. This is a lot of her heritage. This is her daughter, and it moves so nicely. This is actually an old shower curtain with phenomenal. Like LaCroix cans all over it and spoons up here. So really genius. And I have to tell you, we also teach a trash and design class that will start next week with the kids that are younger. We work with ArtQuest High School School, they do their, up in Santa Rosa.
Okay.
So they work with the art teacher, do their own trash outfits. We judge. Best 3 comes up here.
Oh, great.
And there's different categories. So yeah, there's prizes, but really it's about the experience, you know, and just kind of learning the whole sustainability.
Right.
It's pretty big, you know. It's gone county-wide, and
it's a big deal.
It is
a big
lot
deal.
Of people.
I know that people know about it, and I think, one, because it rhymes, it's kind of cute, but also just thinking about, you know, right now so much is fast fashion and stuff. It's like cheap. It's like that Shein or Shein. I don't even know how to pronounce it.
Sheen,
okay, and Temu or Temu.
Yeah.
So you get these ads for like quick stuff, but it's not really well built. It's not really good for the environment.
It's not.
And it just fall apart.
We're
You throw
all
away.
About fighting fast fashion. Hence, like the mending bar. And actually, we have a fiber artist resident who is doing kind of this really beautiful upcycling look of old Levi jackets and distressed stuff.
What our grandparents used to do, where they would sew things back together.
Yeah.
Or make things from those macalos. What were those dress? There's like a dress. You know, you used to buy these patterns, and then you can cut them out. I just remember these sort of.
Wait, I'm confused because my mom used to make my clothes.
Yeah, do you see those patterns? Those little paper patterns? They came in a little thing, and you take them out.
This was the 70s.
Yeah.
I'm not that old. I had Holly Hobby dresses.
Did you really? Fantastic.
Yeah. Like the aprons over the like.
That's
the
fantastic,
whole thing,
and the pinafore and stuff like that.
Exactly.
But that's what I love is that you guys, the Trash and Fashion shows not only about sustainability and reusing stuff, but also that you don't have to throw away your clothes. You can reuse them in creative ways.
Yes. And to be honest, like if you're starting this and you haven't really been a designer, sometimes it can be hard, but we are looking for how can you manipulate materials into actual outfits.
Right.
But sometimes, like if you're a kid or you're starting, you need a base. You know, go over to Republica Thrift, get a good base of a dress or something like that.
Right.
And the only thing we ask is no glitter. And lots of times people will work in groups or community environments or businesses, you know.
Build it.
It's actually great advertising, but
and if you're looking for a donation, please Sonoma Community Center.
Exactly. And we have a couple of open studios right now that are supported by Creative Sonoma.
Okay.
So we have some of our all-stars. Margaret just did kind of a how-to intro, as well as Robert Stickley, who has done this before, and City of Sonoma will have someone coming out there as well that's working on there. So that's a small part of it. That's a runway show.
Okay.
This year it's April 6th. It's always in Earth Month. Dates switch around a little bit, but it's always in Earth Month.
Okay.
And then we do the Trash and Fashion Barbie show.
Got it. And that's like you can do, if you're not going to do a full-size outfit, you can
or
decorate
you don't
a
have
doll.
the time commitment or a model. This is open to all ages.
Okay.
And this is really my jam. So this is,
do you
2016.
participate? Do you decorate a doll?
Absolutely. Every year.
Yeah?
Since the beginning.
When you saw the Barbie movie and you saw Weird Barbie,
this is where Weird Barbies live.
I felt like I saw. I'm like, I feel like that's from the community center when the Weird Barbie character.
It's Trash and Fashion Barbies.
I know, it was so funny.
The title of our show is oh gosh, what is it? And I know it's a long title.
Right.
Reinvented and Rescued and Reinvented, or something along those lines. But really, the whole point is we get a lot of dolls that are donated from Recology.
Okay.
And the reason, because they're not supposed to be on the line, so they started bringing us these boxes of Barbies. I also have Barbie brokers out there when I'm looking for other
guy?
Barbies. Like,
I need 12 skippers.
Bon Marché. Yeah, exactly. I like look for Kens because there's not Ken-off. Okay, I had to do that. I didn't even mean to. But really, they're on the wrong line.
Right.
These are microplastics in the future.
Right.
Let's make it fun and raise a little money for the community center. We give them a Barbie spa day, which is not as glamorous as it sounds, but we clean them up.
Yeah, Barbies probably attract a lot of ick. They've been around a lot of kids and.
Yeah. I mean, some of them are good. Some of them, But and then as of now, because I have call for entries for Barbie.
Okay, so people can submit their Trash and Fashion Sonoma call for entries for Barbies.
They can come and get a doll from us. You're really paying for the application.
Okay.
I have a ton of dolls down at the community center right now.
That must be creepy in the middle of the night.
This is like a champagne topper's dress.
Yeah, look at that.
This is Champagne Jane and Screw Poppy Toppy. Greg Bedford. They do these amazing Barbies.
That's clever.
Year.
They could go to Size Sonoma, pick up all that stuff,
exactly,
and then make a dress out
and
of it.
use your trash. And it can be as simple. I've had ones come that was a Barbie in a Pringle can.
Okay.
Oh my God, it was so good.
Just in a Pringle can? They just cut out some holes?
It was like a Pringle can, and then her face was coming out in front, and we fought over that one because I had one that was a Cheetos, it's just like cotton balls and orange, and it looked like a soft Cheeto.
Wait, was this like the theme was like things you eat on the couch?
We did a theme once year that was like heroes, and we had like some great submissions. Michelle Obama. We leave it to the interpretation. It's funny though how some years kind of
you see a lot of themes coming back.
I did
around.
Golden Girls one year, so that was awesome. Last year I did there was more mythological creatures, so I did a Kenish doll, and this is not just Barbies. There can be Brads, any kind of dolls that are that same size. And I put him on top of a horse, and then I put the horse head on top of the Barbie, and she rode the horse.
Like a Kentor.
Crazy.
Like a thing. Okay.
Well, it's really a mythological story from South America.
This is a segue then.
Yeah.
This is another segue. You teased this before, but things that are maybe not of this world. The community center hasn't the oddest. Okay, I get it. I get the ceramic stuff. I get the cooking classes. I get the bilingual stuff. You got the queer art club. You got all sorts of cool stuff.
Yeah.
But for some reason, you guys have cornered the market on the UFO guy at the community center. So much so, there are people around town that have these UFO buttons that they get from this guy. Tell me about the UFO guy.
Okay, so that's UFO Jim Ledwith, and I'm not going to plug my podcast again, but if you want to listen to
I heard it was a great one. That's
interview,
right. That's right.
Jim is the man. So Jim came years ago, right? Mm-hmm. And he came to the community center to just run some lectures. Okay. He also was doing it he does it usually twice a year. Okay. And he usually does one through Sonoma International Film Festival too. Lectures, sometimes he has people, there's different topics. Right. Sometimes it's UFOs, sometimes it's crop circles. Right. And
kind of otherworldly beyond this terrestrial.
And he also says he was abducted.
From Brooklyn, I hear, on the podcast. Exactly, your podcast.
Right? Yeah. It says he was abducted also in Sonoma. So keep going.
Things can happen.
So anyway, he's an amazing...
He's prolific in his ability to get his message out.
Yeah.
In Sonoma.
Yeah.
And he will do lectures at the community center.
I think Marsha, one of your hosts, actually helps him out with marketing and stuff. The thing is like, we have the time. It's super fun. It attracts a certain crowd. And he donates anything that we get to always and
back to the
community center. Okay. That's why we have a TV screen in the multi-purpose room.
That's what I love. No, it's, you are, when I was listening to this guy, I'm like, this is so funny. It's so not in my wheelhouse, but it's so perfect for the community center. Yeah. Because it's like very open and accepting. And I go to the coffee shop and the barista has one of his little buttons on. And I'm like, I know where you got that. Like,
exactly. Yeah, it's definitely got its usual suspects that come to that. And then there's people that detract what he's saying. But it's like...
Oh, do people stand up and ask questions and like they're like skeptical about it?
He usually does Q&A.
Oh, great.
Yeah, I'm sure there's skeptics and that sort of thing. But, hey... We don't discriminate. We take everyone as long as it's in good. You're being kind to people.
Good faith, kind to the community. Exactly. It's the community center.
Exactly. So we really want the umbrella to be for all, including UFO believers.
Everybody.
Aliens.
Right. Well, before we go, we're going to segue into our questions period. We're going to have me answer questions. But before we do that, and I don't know why people would jump off the podcast, but if you are, before you go, you should know the Sonoma Community Center has a website, and that website is... SonomaCommunityCenter.org. Okay. And we're pretty prolific as well on Facebook and Instagram. Okay. And just started a TikTok. Oh, you did?
And then we have some
sidewinders. You dancing with your ballet stuff?
No, but it's a good one that just started the full house. Introducing the cast of the community
center. I gotta check that out. Okay, I'll go
just
look at it.
Just started. Right. And then Trash and Fashion Sonoma also has its own little side.
Yeah, that's
so
a
we got
very
some sidewinders.
Photographic.
I do that.
You have a lot of good images, a lot of them, so it's very good. Okay, Molly, it's been fantastic. We could go on for hours at the community center because you guys I would encourage people to go to the website, check out all the events and all the things we didn't have time to talk about.
And if you're in town, come down. We're open 7 days a week. Check it out. Take a little tour and explore.
Right. And see where Scream was filmed.
Scream was filmed.
Woodsboro High School.
Gallery shows happening all the time.
All the dancing.
talk to one of us that wants to step out from our computers.
Now you've been talking, but now's the time for you to do some answering.
Okay. All right.
So you're probably aware we have 2 visitor centers. People text us, they call us, they do all sorts of things. They send us questions, we answer them. We answer questions. That's what we do. Ready?
Yes.
So this is a segment we call We Get Questions. Ready?
I'm ready.
Have you seen these? No.
No.
I just flashed them.
I've heard them before.
Right. They're different every week.
Okay.
Yeah, I just listen and then people get them. So here we go.
Keep it exciting.
This is a visitor from the United Kingdom. Ready? Where is a beautiful winery? Should I do it in an accent?
I'm going to have to go, because I never really go to wineries so much, except for when I was a teenager and probably shouldn't have been there, but I know the beauty. So I love Benziger.
Okay, it's a beautiful winery.
I just love that family. And
up in Glen Ellen by Jack London State Park.
Buena Vista, I used to do flowers for a long time.
Oh, you did?
I've done weddings at all these
You were a
places.
flower person? A florist?
Years. That's why I couldn't be an extra and Scream. I had a
you had to go, you had
down
flowers.
the street.
You had to go make
flowers.
corsages and stuff.
Exactly.
All right, so you're saying Benziger Family Winery, which is up there in
them.
Glen Ellen.
Yeah.
Buena Vista is a beautiful winery.
Love that, right?
There's a lot.
There's a lot of them.
A better question to answer is where is an ugly winery? Don't answer that question.
I know. This is where I need my podcast partner Gerardo, because he's always got a question.
So
for that.
The beautiful thing is, visitor from the UK, is that there are a lot of beautiful wineries. Anytime you just go up the valley, you're going to have views depending what side you're on, east side or west side of the valley. Even though the valley does kind of curve, so it could be north or south side of the valley.
Yeah.
And then you go down.
I don't think you would find an ugly. That's our bonus situation.
Exactly.
Here. Outside, there's.
You know
look
what?
Outside.
You know what? Person
Plus
from the
you're
UK.
drinking wine. Everything starts
everything's gorgeous after 2 glasses of Chard. Everywhere. The answer is there's a beautiful wine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bartholomew Park.
That's a great one. You went there. Okay. This one came from a Canadian. A Canadian visitor came in.
All right.
Yeah.
What's it about? Sorry.
All right. I got a question. All right. Where is that building that looks like, or what is that building that looks like a church over there? What is that building that looks like a church over there? They're in the Plaza.
Oh, they're in the Plaza.
And they're pointing.
And they're looking for what, like Valeo's home?
Is there like a white building with a cross on it near the Plaza that looks like a church?
I'm starting to sweat.
Like,
it looks like a church. You mean the mission?
The mission, yes.
Okay, yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm thinking like some outstanding thing that you see, but it's the mission. It's like people my height can fit.
Let's talk about the mission. That's funny.
So beautiful.
So we have a beautiful little mission. There. However, it is not like Santa Barbara, which is a stunning, enormous mission. No. The reason being, this is the last mission built in California. This is the end of the trail.
Is that why the ceilings are so short?
They ran out of money. No, so it was... well, people were shorter back then.
They were accommodating for little people like myself.
Yeah, no, I think it was mainly because this was the only mission built during Mexican independence. So a lot of that was the Spanish Empire, then became Mexican independence. And you can even see the missions kind of get smaller and less grand as you go up because you're going up into the frontier. Right, you're further away from like the administrative capital in Mexico.
Right.
And so this was Mexico, but or it was New Spain. Whatever. Here's this whole history for you.
Thank you, because I didn't go to.
Did you not go to fourth grade here? Where did you go to fourth grade?
I actually was in South Carolina at that time, and we did it on the missions of the American Indians that are around
down
everywhere.
there. You didn't do.
So, and the year that my daughter should have been doing all of this was COVID. So we didn't make a mission or anything like that.
Oh, good. You didn't have all that clay. You could have done it in the ceramic studio, too.
I know. We actually
would have won.
That come in and do that.
You would have had the best thing. So, that is a mission. It's called the Mission San Francisco de Solano. It's the last mission built in California. It's interesting. And it actually has really good exhibits both on the Spanish, the Mexican, the Native Americans. The Russians were here. So there's a lot going on. So, okay. Yeah, here's another one.
Lunar New Year. I just want to let you know on the side of that we have a new event.
You're doing a Lunar New Year?
Lunar New Year.
Okay.
And leading up to that, actually, we will be having a Chinese American presentation.
They were at one time. It was like 20% of the population was Chinese.
Exactly. So we're doing on the 27th. I don't know if this will even be out, but the early Chinese in Sonoma Valley, a presentation by this historical society at the community center.
Okay.
So, and then several workshops on March 2nd. We'll have the Redwood Empire Chinese Association dancers
up here and do it.
Calligraphy by our ex-mayor Jack Ding.
Jack Ding will be there. Wait, Jack Ding can do calligraphy?
Yeah. Did you even know? So he's doing a demonstration.
Oh, that's cool. That's
I know.
I know he's also an accountant. I can imagine him doing like your tax forms with calligraphy. They're like beautiful and
beautiful.
They're like the most beautiful ever.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's like, and you owe $5,000. Oh, no, Jack.
But it's beautiful. You can frame it. That was a segue
right.
because
like
we are happy to be back honoring.
I love that.
That's honoring
good.
This and working with
the Chinese history. And we're working on a plaque at Depot Park about what happened there.
I heard about that. That's fantastic.
All right, third question. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. This is on Facebook. So we know this person's old. Okay, here we go. So looking for recommendations on wineries with tastings and paired lunches, more than just charcuterie and snacks. Tia, I think it means thanks in advance. I don't think it means aunt in Spanish, but it might be Tia. So yeah, recommendations on wineries with tastings and paired lunches.
Man, this is all wine oriented, which is great. That's
right.
what we're here.
Not really. You're right. I mean, you're right. There's a lot more going on here. I can jump in if you need help.
Which is funny. We do a lot of cooking classes, and we pair it up with wine.
So I think the first answer is go to the SonomaCommunityCenter.org website and find a cooking class or an event.
Especially most of them are paired up
with wine.
There's always wine sponsors and
literally across the street there's wine.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't really think there's a bad place.
I'm going to give you one.
Of course, go to Bella Cheese.
Bella Cheese is good.
Yeah, get your own.
Get some cheese over there. Go to the Plaza.
Those are my peeps.
St. Francis Winery in Kenwood is famous for doing a food and wine pairing, which is really like a meal, but it's not technically a meal, but it is like it's one of the top culinary events or culinary things on TripAdvisor.
Really?
Was the St. Francis Winery. Yeah. So that's a good one. Most wineries have something like this.
Yes. I won't lie. Around 4th of July last year, Eric came back into town, and I went out to Gloria Ferrar.
Oh, yeah. Did you get time there? Nice. They do go in sparkling wine up there, and that's a good spot. Okay. Oh, so Eric Jackson was back in town?
He just came in for 4th of July.
Eric,
he moved to Salt Lake City.
I know.
We love you, Eric.
Salt Lake City, which is a lovely place.
He's back in
his lovely place. Yeah, he's a theater guy. Yeah. He's quite talented. Okay, so that's. I also say go to SonomaValley.com. And we have a bunch of different wineries. It would also be like the Ugly Winery. There are lots of wineries that have tastings with food. So, and some are charcuterie, but some also have more in-depth food there. Also, a lot of our restaurants have fabulous wine lists, so you can go to a restaurant and get good.
You're not going to get bad wine here.
You won't.
No Franzia, folks.
Please don't send us a letter. Franzia and Grumpy. Okay, this is a food question. You want to try that one?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to be staying in Sonoma in March with 5 other gals. Would love some recommendations for restaurants for dinner between Healdsburg back down to Sonoma. So anywhere between Healdsburg and Sonoma, that's about an hour drive. Also any bakeries or places to grab sandwiches or pastries before hitting the wineries would be great. And they're very mixed in what we like for food, but we'll be looking for more Italian, seafood, and burgers, or mix. With most prices, 20 to 40. They're very open except for these very specific requirements.
Well,
so give me any restaurants.
I really lean to Sonoma since it's been a while since I've been up
and these are your people.
Part. Exactly, except for Cafe Chidi that I loved that was in Kenwood.
And it kind of moved
Santa
up.
Rosa.
But Ari's opening a new restaurant there. Glen Ellen Star, he's going to open his second restaurant at the Cafe Chidi location in Kenwood. Yeah.
Cafe Chidi had just the best Caesar salad with the real sardine. It's so good.
It was good. It was classic. That was classic Italian. Exactly. Ari was literally talking about that, how he's going to put something on the menu that's an homage to Cafe Chidi.
Good. They have this, so good.
All right, but give me another restaurant that's actually there.
And for sandwiches, if you're going through Glen Ellen,
don't care.
oh my God, why am I forgetting it
the French place?
Pascal's.
Les Pascal's.
Yeah. Les Pascal's. That's great for those turkey sandwiches. So good.
They're really good.
Of course, I'm a big fan in Boys Hot Springs of supporting Spread Kitchen.
Spread's great.
Right there,
the kind of Lebanese and Lebanese-inspired food. They have really good... is it the fries or something they have on there? I had something
dirty fries.
Yeah, they're so good.
They're so good.
Okay, good. That's good stuff.
Tom sauce, all of it.
I'm trying to get her on the podcast. Has she been on your podcast?
She no, but that's a good idea.
Yeah, we're mad at her.
Very supportive.
How about we get 2 microphones and do it at the same time?
Exactly.
And then she brings those fries.
Oh my God. Do you think we'll even get a word in edgewise with us, Tim?
All right, so we've got Spread. You've got Cafe Chidi, which isn't there. You've got, let me think, bakeries. Oh, I've been to Monday Bakery, which is really good.
I just had a good quiche from them
There's
yesterday.
good place.
I'm more of a savory
Plaza.
person.
Okay.
And I love Baker and Cook.
Yeah. I'd say Jen is the baker.
Yes.
Baker and Cook. Also trying to get her on the podcast.
And
She's
if you're
really
here
shy.
early, folks, Friday, I can't say this enough. I was just there. Friday Farmers Market that is down by Depot Park is the biggest secret, amazing place. You get all your vegetables. You support local farmers. They have the golden pickle, which is not the golden pickle anymore, but they just have really good kimchi and food and tea.
Yeah.
And,
the fermented
Baker
stuff
and
lady.
Cook is down
Baker
there.
and Cook's right there.
Yeah.
And then Costa Tacos has breakfast tacos.
Costas. That's our
It's
unofficial
all there.
sponsor that doesn't sponsor our podcast.
It's your unofficial because you just eat the tacos.
You'll find out.
Oh, good. Oh, I love it.
favorite.
Because he has little potatoes and onions and he grills them. They're
Yes.
so good.
It's the best.
So you're right. So actually, I think giving in, if you're here on a Friday,
Yes.
go to the Friday Farmers Market and get
farmers
some of your
market.
food there.
Yeah.
Even
We're
Maison
actually
Porcella's there.
We have a group that's going to get together, kind of like a class. I'm not entirely sure
Okay.
yet. Maria Di Capdeville, who wrote a book on olive oil, does amazing Italian classes at the community center, is going to do a farmer's market, taking people down to the farmer's market on Friday, and then coming back and preparing lunches.
That's okay. We're going to bring you back to talk about that because
Yeah, bring
that
her.
is a
She's
fabulous idea.
Yeah.
I love that idea. And
Yeah, me too.
I mean, yeah, that's smart. Okay, so you answered all the questions. You did it.
Okay.
Well, it's not that
Food
hard.
and wine,
That's not that hard.
Food, yes.
I should have put a dance question in there, but I don't know any dance
yeah?
questions. Like, what's first position? Is that when your ankles are together and pointing out? Oh,
Like
they're
this,
kind of
like a
like
duck.
like a duck.
Okay.
And second position is when they go up to the toes or
Second
something.
position is out.
Oh.
Like this.
Okay.
Third is in the middle.
Third. Okay.
Fifth is covers
How many
the toes.
positions are there?
There's 5. Well,
Oh, that's
kind of
it.
6. 6 is like unofficial parallel.
Okay.
But
you
there's
just jump around a lot.
there's a reason, and you'll see them like in different angles and stuff. And the reason why is because ballet kind of came out of the courts of France from the Sun King, so they danced for the Sun King.
Okay.
And you were dancing. The dancers, they were paying your bills, so you were always dancing up to the orchestras. They also, or up to the boxes and that sort of stuff. So that's why everything is kind of
these
here.
movements that are
Exactly.
looking up at the boxes.
And they also have slated, very slated stages, right?
Okay.
So you can only imagine, and that's why you see like old dancers.
why you twist your
they had
ankles
really
and stuff?
big calves.
Yeah.
Because when you had to do big leaps going
Uphill?
down stage, you were going uphill kind of, which you can practice in our hallway at the community center. Sometimes if no one's around. I used to have the kids go all the way down
jumping
the
up,
hallway.
just
to the
jumping,
second wall. Grand jetés, all the way to the water.
It's like
fountain,
jumping
all the
back
way
and forth
back.
down the hall? That'd be so
Yes.
funny.
It's fun.
All right, see, Molly,
It's
this is
like the
good.
Fame building over there. That's
It is.
probably why I work there. Music
Music
coming out of the music room.
It is. It is like
know.
Fame. See,
Yeah.
that's when I go in there, I think of that. And a lady
do
with a
too.
stick,
Yeah,
and she would do the whole thing there.
Oh, we used to when Cynthia's there, but exactly me with this. I wish I was Debbie Allen, but I'm not. You can't
That
really
was Debbie
teach
Allen.
like Debbie.
That's right. Jeez. Molly, it's been wonderful having you here.
Thank you.
I want to
Tim.
make sure first of all, if people want to listen to a fantastic podcast other than this one, what's the name of your podcast?
The Sonoma Community Center podcast.
Oh, that's very
Wherever
easy.
you want to, wherever you find it. It's also on our website under its own event page.
The Sonoma
Podcast.
Community Center
Yeah,
podcast.
exactly. We interview a lot of the artists and locals that come through the area. And
Oh, fabulous. And
few
kind of give me
people
there.
from all over the spots.
And then if people want to go to that website again, give it to me one more time.
SonomaCommunityCenter.org.
Fabulous. And after you've done that and you still want more things to do in Sonoma Valley, go to sonomavalley.com, including our amazing events page, which has stuff from the
Yes.
Sonoma Community Center. When you're done subscribing to this podcast, go on to that podcast. Give them both a big 5-star rating. Give them a 6-star rating because they're worth it, folks. Tell
What's a
everybody.
rating? I
Give
haven't
them
seen a rating
25.
come down the pipeline in a while.
Give them a rating, like,
Yeah.
comment, and subscribe.
Yeah.
And everybody else, thanks for listening, Mom and Dad. Hope you're doing well. Happy anniversary. Recording this on your anniversary. Happy anniversary. And we'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Tim.